Hey youngsters, welcome to a new episode here on Young 88. Crazy times happening right now. We have the whole COVID-19 happening. We are 1 week into basically working from home and the kids being at home because school is totally canceled. So I thought, got a little bit of time on the weekend now. I can maybe focus on getting some videos done for Young 88. So I thought I'd do an episode on Instant Pot because with the kids at home now, thought I'd venture into some new recipes or trying out more recipes on the Instant Pot. So I thought I'd take one of my all-time favorites, the pork stew that I usually make in the slow cooker. I'm gonna give it a try in the Instant Pot and we'll see how it goes. Now, before I begin cooking, I just want to give a shout out and thank all the healthcare workers out there who are on the front lines, working really hard day and night to ensure everything is safe. Everyone, we can do our part, making sure we stay home, making sure if you're feeling a little under the weather, quarantine yourself for 14 days. Make sure we are not spraying that around. Now, on to the cooking with the Instant Pot. So this classic stew recipe, a little bit of history here, it actually started in Japan in the ancient times. It is said that they used to put this ox meat into an animal pouch and they'd cook it over a fire for a long time, and all the juices and flavors that they would put in this pouch would just mix together and be very flavorful, very thick. Stews are great any time, doesn't matter whether it's winter or in the summer. It's a good favorite that doesn't take too much prep and you can get done pretty quick and the whole family can enjoy. So we're gonna start out with 1 kilogram of pork. Let's get in there. Now we're gonna get some celery stalks. Now these aren't set 100% in stone. You can use however much you feel. This is just from making a lot of stews, just figuring out what is nice. I like more veggies in mine, so I've got 4 stalks of celery here. And if you cut into bigger chunks, they're going to cook very nice in the Instant Pot. So for those of you in Alberta and in Canada as well, the schools have closed down. What have you guys been doing for the week with your kids? I know our kids have been stuck at home, but we've had a lot of actually fun. Picked up a Nintendo Switch, so hopefully maybe I'll do some game streaming on my YouTube channel. Never done that before. But I like the Nintendo Switch. One of my all-time favorite games is Mario Kart, and it's been nice getting to play that with the kids. If you guys want to leave some comments down below, let me know what you guys are doing under the current lockdown with the coronavirus in your area. I know in Canada we're taking it quite seriously. We don't want this thing spreading, so we've shut down a lot of places. A lot of restaurants and bars are closed, so hence me taking out the Instant Pot and putting the stew together. All right, now we're going to take, I usually like to put about 4 medium-sized carrots in there. If you have larger ones, you could just use 2. But carrots, you can cut bigger chunks. They will be super, super tender once they come out of the Instant Pot. Now there's a lot of other meats you can use. I know the most common for stews is beef. But of course, if you've watched my gout videos, there's a lot on my channel. There's a couple on my channel. You see my gout videos, you know that I can't eat beef. So we use pork in ours. You can use chicken. With chicken stew, I would recommend more of a creamy sauce if you can put in. Okay, now that we have the carrots and the celery and the pork into the Instant Pot, we're going to start filling it up. Usually we will use about, just got some leftover chicken broth. Usually it will take about 3 to 4 cups of chicken broth. I would recommend using the whole thing to get as much liquid as you can into the stew. Now normally when I make the stew in the slow cooker, I would coat the pork with flour, and that's how it gets thickened throughout the slow cooker process. But with an Instant Pot, you want to avoid getting the thick creamy sauces or the thicker sauces into the Instant Pot at the beginning. just because it becomes a mess once you ventilate the steam out. What we will do is, in a separate pot on the stove, we're gonna use cornstarch and use some of the juices from this mixture once it's cooked to create the thick sauce, and then pour it back in. So do the thick sauce afterwards with an Instant Pot. We had about a 1-inch cube of ginger that I've cut up. Normally you would grate this over for the slow cooker, but for this one I've just cut it into small chunks. So I'll put that in. We also have a full onion that we want to cut up. We can dice these up nice and small so that mixes in with all the good flavors as it cooks through. We got 3 cloves of garlic. Smash those up, give them a good smash. Now we want to add about 3 dried bay leaves. If you have dried bay leaves, they work really good. So add about 3 of them in there. We've got some oregano. I've got 1 teaspoon of oregano. 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. And just a pinch of rosemary, or you can use a pinch of thyme. Either one will work well, not too much. You don't want it overpowering the flavor. Now you want to put in approximately 1 teaspoon of allspice. Normally we get this McCormick allspice. I think it works well. So I'm just going to estimate. That's about 1 teaspoon right there. I like to put some soy sauce in. Same thing, we're probably going to take about 1 tablespoon. Now, because my wife is allergic to tomatoes, we can't use tomatoes. We gotta get some citrusy, some tang into it. I love Worcester sauce. Use about, I'd say about 1 tablespoon in. Should give you enough. You can always add a little bit more if you like, just to give that little extra kick. And we're running a little low on pepper, but you can get some pepper ground in there. Now we're going to give it a good mix. Make sure everything gets coated. All right. Now we're going to load up the Instant Pot here. I'm going to put it in. Got to plug it in. Okay, we got our Instant Pot put on. Got the bowl in there. Now we're going to close it up. We're going to put on the stew mode for 35 minutes and we're going to let this thing cook.
A few minutes later.
Smells really good. Okay, this is now done. It has been cooking for about 35-40 minutes. Just release the pressure off of this. And I just want to say, for some of the stews, we often put potatoes in there. For tonight though, we're gonna make some spaghetti for the kids. My wife and I are gonna have some white rice. Make it however way you make your stews, and I'm sure it'll turn out great. The kids are around watching. This is great. Okay, now we open this up, and woo! Smells fantastic. Okay, so we are just gonna get a couple spoonfuls of cornstarch. Now you can use flour as well, but sometimes with the thick sauce, when using flour to thicken your sauce, sometimes you get that flour taste. Some people don't like that. So got about 3 spoons in there. And then just gonna mix this up a little bit. And then, ooh, I can already see the meat's quite tender. So this is pretty hot already, so it'll probably start thickening up. We're gonna just put a little bit in. Just gonna stir it up a little bit so that we don't get any clumping going on with the cornstarch. We're gonna do a little bit more of this to thicken up a little bit more. All right, there you have it, thickened up. Got it nice and thick now. Good consistency. So depending on how you guys like your stew, I do like mine a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna go ahead and put another batch of cornstarch in here just to thicken up just a little bit more, but it's pretty good. The meat looks very tender and this smells really, really good. So that's Instant Pot stew. Just want to shout out again to all the frontline workers in our healthcare system, keeping us safe and taking care of everybody who's infected and gotten this coronavirus. Make sure we do our part as the public and stay inside, at least for the next 2 weeks, guys. It's not that bad. There's a lot of things we can do. You can whip out new recipes for your Instant Pot or slow cooker. I know I have a list of things that I want to try just from cooking alone. But there's a lot of things that we're doing with our kids as well. We've got some lesson plans set up, a lot of crafts, and as I mentioned before, I bought a Nintendo Switch, so now and then I get to do some screen time with the kids and have them play some of the classic games I did. So until next time, guys, stay safe, and we will see you later.